What if I told you that the woman you think you have figured out has no interest in being understood? What if the Sigma female is the most misunderstood and elusive type of person out there? Seriously, no one can control her. And here's why. Ever notice how some women just don't fit in with the typical social expectations? They don't follow the rules, they don't crave attention, and they sure as heck aren't waiting for someone to save them. In fact, society often labels them as too much or too independent. But what if I told you this rejection of the status quo isn't a flaw? What if it's actually what makes her unstoppable? The Sigma female doesn't play by the same rules you're used to. She's like the black swan of human behavior, rare, unpredictable, and impossible to control. She can thrive alone, build her own empire, and never need permission from anyone. Now that, my friends, is power. But why does she have this control? Why can't anyone box her in? Stick around. You're about to find out exactly why the Sigma female is the black swan and how this impacts everything around her. Here are 8 powerful perspectives that show why she can't be controlled. The Sigma female doesn't look to anyone else for validation. Her worth? It's entirely self-defined. She's not someone who wakes up in the morning hoping for praise or approval from others. In fact, it's almost the opposite. She doesn't care about the external noise, the judgments, or the opinions people try to throw her way. When the world tells her how to act, or what to wear, or who she should be, she doesn't bat an eye. She's too focused on her own journey. Most people have been conditioned to seek validation from their friends, family, or even social media followers. It's almost second nature to look outside yourself for reassurance. But the Sigma female is different. She's learned to rely on herself and her own internal compass to guide her. It's like she's immune to society's pressure to conform. She defines her own reality and doesn't need anyone else to tell her how she should feel about herself. This isn't just a mindset she adopts. It's a way of living. She's secure in her identity and unapologetic about it. She doesn't need constant reminders from others that she's doing okay, because she knows she is. For the Sigma female, validation is something that comes from within. While most people feel incomplete or insecure if they don't get outside recognition, she finds fulfillment in knowing that she is doing what she believes is right for her life. This could be in her career, relationships, or personal development. She doesn't bend to societal norms or expectations. She's carved out her own path, and she walks it with confidence and purpose. It's not that she's arrogant or dismissive of others. It's that she has learned to prioritize her own happiness and sense of self-worth above anything else. When everyone around her is scrambling to fit in, she's perfectly content standing out, and she does so effortlessly. She's the type of woman who doesn't seek approval from her partner, her friends, or even her family. If someone tries to tell her what she should be doing or who she should be, she simply shrugs it off. She keeps going. She doesn't waste energy trying to convince others of her worth. She knows she doesn't need validation to be worthy, and that's incredibly powerful. The Sigma female doesn't compare herself to others because she doesn't need to. She's not in competition with anyone. She's only competing against herself and working to become the best version of who she wants to be. She's so comfortable in her own skin that the opinions of others rarely, if ever, affect her. If anything, they roll off her like water off a duck's back. In a world that's constantly trying to shape people into a mold, the Sigma female is a beautiful contradiction. She doesn't follow trends. She doesn't seek popularity. She doesn't need to be liked by everyone to feel fulfilled. And yet somehow she exudes a quiet, magnetic power that draws people in. The Sigma female knows who she is, what she wants, and doesn't need anyone else to tell her otherwise. She's already made up her mind about her life, her purpose, and her goals. She's not looking for anyone's approval, and she never will be. That's the kind of strength and confidence that makes her completely unstoppable. People can't control her because she doesn't play by the same rules. She's creating her own reality, and it's a reality that doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion. She's got her own back, and she's living life on her own terms. And that's the power of self-definition, the Sigma female's secret weapon. If this resonates with you, hit that like button, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful insights like this. She doesn't need a tribe to feel powerful. The Sigma female doesn't care about fitting in with any group or conforming to what society expects from her. While others may find their sense of strength and identity within their social circles or peer groups, she's perfectly fine doing her own thing. She doesn't need a tribe to feel powerful, because for her, power comes from within. The traditional narrative is that people need to be part of a community, a group, a tribe, or even a clique to feel like they belong. But the Sigma female challenges this idea. She doesn't depend on a crowd to validate her or make her feel significant. She knows that her strength isn't tied to other people's opinions of her. When people hear the word powerful, they often think of someone who's surrounded by others, someone who's part of a team or network of supporters, a person with an army of followers, or a leader at the helm of a movement. But the Sigma female? She doesn't need all that. Her strength is quiet, yet undeniable. She doesn't need a group to feel seen or heard. She knows her value and doesn't need validation from anyone around her. This independence makes her unshakable. When others thrive off the energy of a group, the Sigma female knows how to thrive alone. She's okay with being the lone wolf. She doesn't seek company because she doesn't feel lonely in solitude. In fact, she's most at ease when she's doing things on her own, forging her path without anyone's input. People around her may question why she's not involved in certain social circles or why she's not actively participating in group activities, but the Sigma female doesn't need to explain herself. She doesn't owe anyone an explanation for her choices. She doesn't feel the need to be accepted or admired by a group. Her self-worth comes from within, and she doesn't require external sources to reinforce it. This self-sufficiency is what makes her different from others who depend on social validation to feel powerful. Whether she's working on a project, pursuing a hobby, or simply living her life, she doesn't need anyone else to give her permission to do it. She doesn't follow the crowd or adopt trends just because they're popular. If the crowd is heading in one direction, you'll find her heading the other way, carving out her own path. This ability to thrive independently makes her unstoppable. Her power comes from not needing anyone else to feel whole or worthy. She doesn't let the opinions of others dictate her actions, and she doesn't follow groupthink. If others choose to leave her out or ignore her, she's just fine with that. It's not rejection to her, it's just a sign that she's on the right track. In fact, she prefers to stand alone. The Sigma female sees no value in mindlessly following the crowd. She understands that true power comes from having the freedom to make her own decisions and live life according to her own terms. While others may feel insecure or lost when they're not part of a group, she knows that her power lies in her independence. The Sigma female is the ultimate example of self-reliance and strength. She doesn't need a tribe, a team, or an army to feel powerful. Her own inner drive, confidence, and self-worth are all she needs to conquer whatever challenges come her way. And that's a level of power that no one can take from her. It's untouchable, and it's all hers. That's why the Sigma female doesn't need a tribe to feel powerful. She's her own source of strength. She's not afraid to be alone. The Sigma female doesn't crave constant companionship or validation from others, and she certainly doesn't fear solitude. While most people tend to shy away from being alone, fearing loneliness or feeling incomplete, the Sigma female sees it as an opportunity. She knows how to be content with her own company, and in fact, she thrives in it. This isn't just about enjoying me time or taking an occasional break from socializing. It's about genuinely finding peace and strength in being by herself. When everyone else is scrambling to surround themselves with others to feel important, she's completely fine on her own. And that's where her true power lies. The world often promotes the idea that you need to be in a relationship, surrounded by friends, or part of a social circle to be happy. But the Sigma female has learned the exact opposite. She understands that true happiness comes from within. She doesn't need anyone else to complete her or validate her existence. She's already whole. While people around her might feel uncomfortable spending time alone, The Sigma female uses this time to reflect, recharge, and grow. She doesn't feel less than because she's not constantly with others. She knows how to enjoy her own company and take the time to pursue her passions without anyone else's input. Being alone allows her to dive deep into her thoughts, evaluate her goals, and plan her next move. This solitude isn't about isolation or loneliness, it's about gaining clarity and focusing on personal growth. The Sigma female is incredibly self-sufficient, and this independence enables her to make decisions based on her own needs, not what others expect from her. In her alone time, she learns more about who she is, what she wants, and what truly matters to her. This deep understanding of herself makes her unshakable because she doesn't rely on outside sources for direction. She's not afraid to be alone because she knows that being by herself isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. When others are trying to fill every minute with distractions, she's fully present in her own life. She enjoys the peace and quiet that comes from being alone. She doesn't feel the need to prove anything to anyone, and that freedom gives her a level of authenticity that's hard to match. In a world where constant social interactions are pushed on us, the Sigma female is a quiet rebel. She's not interested in superficial relationships or filling her life with people just for the sake of it. Her relationships, whether romantic, familial, or friendly, are meaningful because she chooses them carefully. She doesn't settle for shallow connections. If she's alone, she's okay with that. She knows that solitude is where she can reflect, recharge, and reconnect with her true self. This ability to be alone and still feel complete gives her an immense sense of peace. While the world around her runs on external validation and constant socializing, the Sigma female knows that real strength is found in her ability to be alone and still feel whole. She doesn't fear it, she embraces it, and that makes her one of the most powerful and self-assured individuals in any room. Being alone isn't a sign of loneliness, it's a sign of a woman who knows exactly who she is and doesn't need anyone else to tell her. If you're feeling the power of self-reliance, show some love by liking this video, leaving a comment, and subscribing for more content about how to build your own path. She chooses when to engage and when not to. The Sigma female is very selective about where and how she invests her time and energy. Unlike others who feel the constant pull to participate in every conversation, trend, or social interaction, she knows how to pick her battles. She doesn't waste her energy on things that don't matter, and she doesn't engage with people who don't deserve her time. This is a woman who understands the value of silence and the power of walking away. In today's fast-paced, attention-driven world, people are always engaging in something, whether it's on social media, in group chats, or through constant, often meaningless conversations. But the Sigma female doesn't feel the need to join in just because it's what everyone else is doing. She's strategic with her attention and focus. If something doesn't align with her values, goals, or interests, she simply doesn't give it her time. This is not a woman who gets caught up in drama or follows every trend that pops up. She's aware of what's happening around her, but doesn't feel the need to engage unless there's something important to gain from it. Whether it's a debate, a social gathering, or a conflict, the Sigma female has mastered the art of knowing when to step back and when to step in. She's the kind of person who will observe a situation first before jumping in. She won't participate in a conversation just because people expect her to. Instead, she listens, evaluates, and only contributes when she feels it's necessary. This gives her a sense of control over her time and energy, which is incredibly empowering. The Sigma female's power comes from her ability to choose. She's not a passive participant in life. She's an active, conscious chooser. When people are gossiping, fighting over trivial things, or following the crowd just for the sake of it, she's off doing her own thing. She doesn't feel obligated to engage in anything that doesn't serve her growth or peace of mind. This skill of choosing when to engage is part of her emotional intelligence. She knows that reacting impulsively or getting dragged into meaningless interactions can drain her energy and disrupt her inner peace. So, instead, she takes the time to decide whether something or someone is worth her involvement. If it isn't, she walks away, no questions asked. This doesn't mean that the Sigma female avoids human connection altogether. When she does choose to engage, it's meaningful. She invests her time and energy in people, causes or activities that align with her values and passions. She's not interested in shallow relationships or half-hearted efforts. When she's in, she's all in. But when she's not interested, she's not afraid to walk away. She doesn't fear the discomfort of being out of the loop or missing out on social trends because she knows that staying true to herself is more important than fitting in. Choosing when to engage and when to stay out of things gives her a sense of control over her environment. She doesn't let others dictate how she spends her time or where her attention goes. This autonomy makes her powerful because she's not constantly reacting to the world around her. She's actively creating her own experience. The Sigma female is a master of boundaries, knowing where to draw the line and how to protect her peace. This makes her unshakable, unbothered, and ultimately unstoppable. When you're in control of when and where you invest your energy, nothing can throw you off course. And that's what makes her so unique. If you've ever felt empowered by your own alone time, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more of these deep dives into Sigma energy. She moves to the beat of her own drum. The Sigma female doesn't follow the crowd. She never looks to others to define what she should do, what she should wear, or how she should think. If everyone else is heading in one direction, you can bet she's going the other way. Her individuality is her superpower, and she's not afraid to embrace it. While the majority of people are constantly chasing trends or trying to fit in with the latest group mentality, the Sigma female is busy creating her own path. She doesn't follow anyone's idea of what's cool or what's in, because she knows that the best version of herself comes when she's true to her own unique self. This doesn't mean she's antisocial or rebellious just for the sake of it. It simply means that she values authenticity over conformity. She's comfortable with who she is, and she doesn't need to mold herself to anyone else's expectations. The Sigma female isn't afraid to be different. Whether it's her style, her career, or her lifestyle, she does things in her own way. She doesn't feel the pressure to blend in or act a certain way just to gain approval. If something feels right to her, she does it. If it doesn't, she moves on without hesitation. People around her may look at her and wonder why she doesn't follow the latest trends or participate in mainstream conversations, but that's exactly what makes her stand out. It's in her ability to go against the grain without hesitation. Her confidence comes from knowing that she doesn't need to chase external validation. Her worth is inherent, and her uniqueness is a reflection of that. The Sigma female has learned the value of walking alone. She knows that when you follow the crowd, you end up losing sight of who you really are. It's easy to get lost in the noise of what everyone else is doing. It's easy to slip into the trap of thinking you have to be a certain way to fit in. But the Sigma female isn't buying into that. She's secure enough in herself to take the road less traveled and embrace whatever comes her way. And in doing so, she often sets trends without even trying. She doesn't need to get on social media to show off or prove that she's ahead of the curve. She just lives her truth, and naturally, others begin to take notice. This ability to move to her own rhythm allows her to remain unbothered by outside influences. While people around her are distracted by the latest fads or social pressures, she's laser-focused on what's important to her. She isn't interested in playing the game everyone else is playing. She's too busy creating her own rules. The Sigma female isn't concerned with being understood or fitting into someone else's mold. She doesn't care if others think she's different because, in her mind, being different is exactly the point. It's a sign of strength, independence, and authenticity. Being unique is her badge of honor. Her individuality gives her an edge, and it's something she's never willing to compromise on. And that's what makes her so powerful. People may try to label her, define her, or even make her feel like she doesn't belong. But the Sigma female knows that being herself is all that matters. She's not playing by anyone else's rules, and she never will. And that's why she's always ahead of the game. She doesn't just survive in this world, she thrives because she stays true to who she is, regardless of what anyone else thinks. She has no time for expectations. The Sigma female doesn't let society's expectations control her. In a world where there's a constant pressure to meet certain standards, whether it's about marriage, career, family, or appearances, she refuses to conform. She doesn't feel obligated to live up to anyone else's idea of success. The expectations others place on her simply don't factor into how she makes her decisions. From the moment she recognizes her own power, she learns to ignore the voice of society telling her who she should be or what she should do. While most women might feel the weight of societal pressures, whether it's the push to settle down, have children, or follow a traditional career path, the Sigma female has no interest in fitting into any pre-established molds. She doesn't get caught up in the idea that there's a right way to live life. Instead, she chooses to live her life on her terms, knowing that happiness doesn't come from meeting external expectations, but from fulfilling her own desires and goals. This freedom from societal norms allows her to make decisions based on what she truly wants, not what others think she should want. Whether it's choosing a non-traditional career path, opting for a life without marriage or kids, or making unconventional life choices, the Sigma female is at peace with herself. She isn't swayed by others' judgment or expectations. She's willing to take risks, embrace unconventional choices, and live life unapologetically. Most people would be terrified of stepping off the beaten path because they fear rejection or disappointment. But not the Sigma female. She has the courage to embrace her own path, even if it means disappointing others. If she wants something, she goes for it, regardless of whether society thinks it's normal or acceptable. The Sigma female is a true representation of freedom, and it's this refusal to be tied to others' expectations that makes her so unstoppable. There's an incredible sense of peace and confidence that comes from letting go of the need to please others. When she stops living for the approval of others, she taps into a limitless source of inner strength. This is the kind of confidence that can't be shaken. The Sigma female doesn't care if she's not following the typical timeline or meeting the usual milestones. She doesn't compare herself to others, and she doesn't let the outside world define her value. Whether people think she's too ambitious, too independent, or not traditional enough, she's completely at ease with her choices. She knows her worth is intrinsic, not dependent on others' validation. This independence also means that she doesn't stick to traditional career paths. While many people may feel pressure to take certain jobs, climb the corporate ladder, or follow specific career trajectories, the Sigma female understands that success isn't linear. She creates her own definition of success, one that aligns with her personal values and desires. She's okay with not having it all figured out in a conventional way. She doesn't let the fear of judgment keep her from following her own aspirations. In relationships, the same principle applies. The Sigma female is never desperate for external approval, and she doesn't feel pressured to get into a relationship or conform to societal standards. If she wants companionship, it's because she genuinely values the connection, not because it's expected of her. She doesn't need a partner to feel complete. She's already whole on her own. This ability to reject society's expectations gives her an incredible sense of freedom. She doesn't feel trapped by the rules others follow. She knows that true fulfillment comes from creating her own standards for success and happiness, and she will never apologize for that. Does this sound like you? Show your support by liking, commenting below, and subscribing for more insights on how to control your energy and your life. She knows her worth and doesn't settle. The Sigma female is unwavering in her self-respect and self-awareness. She knows her worth, and because of this, she never settles for less than what she deserves. While many people often settle in relationships, jobs, or friendships because they feel like they have to, the Sigma female doesn't give in to the pressure to just accept anything less than what truly aligns with her values. This isn't arrogance, it's a deep understanding of herself and her standards. She knows that she is valuable, capable, and deserving of the best. Because she has a clear sense of self-worth, she never compromises on what she wants or needs, whether it's in her personal life or professional endeavors. When it comes to relationships, she isn't desperate to settle down or find someone, just for the sake of not being alone. She values quality over quantity and will only engage in relationships that contribute positively to her life. If she meets someone who doesn't share her values or treat her with the respect she deserves, she walks away without hesitation. The Sigma female doesn't stick around for a relationship that's not up to her standards. She knows that settling for someone who doesn't truly appreciate her is a disservice to both herself and the other person. If she chooses to be with someone, it's because they meet her criteria and elevate her life. She doesn't settle for toxicity, mediocrity, or someone who doesn't value her. Similarly, when it comes to her career, she doesn't settle for a job or role that doesn't fulfill her or challenge her in meaningful ways. The Sigma female won't just take a job because it's convenient or offers financial security. She's too focused on her long-term happiness and goals to settle for something that doesn't inspire her. She doesn't chase titles, power, or status for the sake of it. She goes after what feels right, and she's willing to walk away from a career opportunity that doesn't align with her passions or her values. She's not motivated by the desire to please others or meet external expectations. Her drive comes from within, and she's willing to make sacrifices and take risks to pursue what she truly wants. This commitment to never settling for less than she deserves applies to her friendships as well. The Sigma female values meaningful, supportive relationships, and she will distance herself from anyone who doesn't offer that. She isn't interested in maintaining friendships with people who drain her energy or undermine her values. If someone in her life isn't supportive, respectful, or understanding of her, she has no problem cutting them out. She understands that the people you surround yourself with have a direct impact on your mental and emotional well-being, and she will not allow toxic people to linger in her life. This refusal to settle is rooted in her self-respect and self-awareness. The Sigma female understands that she deserves the best, and she will not settle for less because she believes that her happiness, success, and peace of mind are worth the effort it takes to find the right fit in every area of her life. She's not afraid of being alone if it means maintaining her standards. Her worth is not determined by external factors, and because she knows this, she's willing to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't align with her personal value system. This makes her incredibly strong and unstoppable. She simply won't settle. So now you know, this is why the Sigma female is the black swan of human behavior. She can't be boxed in because she was never meant to be. She's not the kind of person who can be easily categorized or confined by society's traditional labels. While the world loves to classify people into neat little boxes, the Sigma female refuses to fit in because she's beyond the rules that everyone else follows. She's unpredictable, rare, and entirely independent, which makes her one of the most fascinating and enigmatic types of human behavior. The truth is, people like the Sigma female have always existed, but in a world obsessed with fitting into social norms and expectations, they often go unnoticed or misunderstood. They're the ones who challenge conventions, question authority, and carve their own paths. But here's the thing. The Sigma female doesn't care about being understood or fitting into any box. She's too busy living life on her own terms, and that's what makes her both unique and powerful. When you take away all the labels, all the expectations, you're left with a woman who can't be controlled because she's creating her own reality. She's a force of nature that doesn't need permission from anyone to thrive. If you liked this, make sure to subscribe because I've got more juicy content coming your way. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. If this video resonated with you, or if you know a Sigma female who's unapologetically themselves, you need to hit that subscribe button. I've got so much more to share about the power of women who refuse to be put into boxes, who reject the norms, and who go after what they want, no matter what anyone else thinks. And hey, if you think you're a Sigma or you know one, drop a comment below and tell me, what's the one thing that makes you or your Sigma friend totally unshakable? I want to hear from you. What is it about your Sigma energy that makes you stand out from the crowd? Is it the way you handle life's challenges? Is it your emotional independence? Or maybe it's the fact that you're always staying true to yourself, no matter what others think. Drop those thoughts below. I'm so curious to see how you guys relate to this. But wait, here's the cliffhanger. Could the Sigma female be the next level of human evolution? Seriously, think about it. We've talked about how different she is, how powerful she is, and how she's unapologetically herself. Could it be that women like her are the future? Could they be the blueprint for how we should all live, independently, confidently, and without the pressure to conform? I mean, if we're talking about evolution, it's clear that the Sigma female isn't waiting for anyone to lead her. She's already leading herself. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you think the Sigma female is the next step in human evolution, or is she just a fascinating anomaly? I can't wait to hear your take on it. Leave your comments, share your ideas, and let's keep this conversation going. I'll be reading every single one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. See you next time.